everybody and welcome back. So slightly different episode this week. I of course am doing the windows, but I wanted to show you guys a few of the little tips and tricks I have for doing the windows. So currently right now I am hanging the weights. As you can see, got the weights and the chains hanging out here. We have chains on our windows, mostly because the windows are quite a bit bigger than a lot of other houses, so we don't have the rope system that some of the other old houses have. So what I've done here is I've got a little piece of string and I've attached a screw to it. Now you can use a piece of metal, whatever you want, but I'm gonna show you how to rehang the weights. So we go up to the pulley and push our little screw through. We're just using it as weight to send this little bit of string back into the weight pocket. So I'll send that all the way down till we see it come out down here in the weight pocket. And then what we're gonna do is come down to the weight pocket, cut our little string. And don't worry about this sash, by the way, it's just hanging out right now, about to go in. There we go. Find the end of your chain. And tie your little string onto it. I just suggest double knotting this because I have had them pull out. And then simply put, start pulling on it, keep consistent pressure on your string. Take your weight, make sure it's hanging correctly, like that, and then feed it into the pocket. Then, pull it up. And then to keep the pressure off the chain, what we're gonna do is take this other little screw, we're gonna thread it through one of these guys up there, which will hold the weight up. That when we go to screw the chain to the window, you don't have to be holding on to the thing while trying to screw it in, so it frees up a hand. So, take your little guy, thread it through, not all the way, just kind of halfway. All you're doing is creating a little barrier so it can't pull back through. And now your chain's free. Cut your little rope off the end, your little string. And then repeat said process on the other side. All right, guys, so the next step is to hook your chains to your window. Now you see this channel here. The one thing to remember is you want to put it on this side of the channel because you don't want that chain or your screw interfering with the weather strip. So essentially you see I've got a pre-drilled little hole there, and that was just taken by measuring the chain down here and putting a bit in there. Always pre-drill your screw holes because you don't want anything to split the wood. That would be bad, especially with these windows, which are really nice.
We're really not cheap.
Screw your screw.
How do you decide where on the window to screw it in?
You got enough slack in this line that it's not a problem. If you're doing ropes, that might be a bit of a problem. But these are the original chains for the windows, and the windows are the same size. So for me, there's not a whole lot of measurement in that respect. If you're putting in new ones, there might be a better way of doing that. I'm sure there's another video out there in the world that will explain that better.
Okay. So
that's how you do that side. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and I'll show you guys how to rise it on up on there. So all we're doing now is pushing the sash into its place. And you start these at the bottom and then work your way up onto the weather stripping. So the weather stripping for this window, the top sash, goes on first, and then you could pull the window up into it. The bottom sash is different. You put one on and rock it into place with the other one attached to the window, but not to the wood. I'll show that and explain it a little bit better. So all we do now is take the screws that were holding the chains from pulling off and let it go taut. So let the weights take over. Okay, so chains are good, window's good. Just pull it up into place. and then just slide it up into its home. And so one down. Now what we got to do is this channel here is add the stops. But before I'm going to add the stops, I've got to put the last weight in and then close up these weight pockets with their little corresponding doors. So we're going to do that real quick, put in all the stops, and then put in the bottom sash. All right, guys, so here we are with a finished product, or very close to finished. I'm sure you all noticed the tutorial kind of ended somewhat abruptly, and I do apologize for that. There is an issue here. So it might be kind of hard to see in the video, but this corner touches and this corner doesn't. It's about a 1/4 inch off here. So this thing is ever so slightly cocked, or just a little messed up, or not quite square. What that's doing is the window is being measured pretty much close to right, or pretty close to perfect. As you can see, the sash, that's actually behind the glass here. And so these are about a 1/4 inch off all the way across, as you can see. So what essentially I have to do to correct that is I have to cut the bottom of this, which I can do, but as you can see outside, it's already dark. And since I'm working in 2 rooms and I only have 1 light, it's a little difficult to run the light back and forth, and so that's gonna do it for us. But to explain how you get these on, so this right here is the weather stripping. As you can see, we've already discussed this, went over this in a previous video. Essentially, this is the weather stripping for this side. And so once I know that everything fits and is correct and is right, the one for this side is already on here. And essentially what you do is you take it at like a 45-degree angle and click it on and then swing the window into place with this just hanging out on the back. And so once this is secure in there, you raise the window up and nail this one into place. So that's how you would get that on after the fact. But I'll show you guys how I do that next week with this whole thing. But essentially, that's what we ended up working with, and I do think they look great. I mean, they're obviously much better looking than the current windows, or the old windows. And of course, the thing that's really important here is that Kim's happy, because this is the room Kim's going to be spending most of her time in. It's going to be her little arts and crafts room. But yeah, I am pretty happy with them. So here's a shot of the backyard. I wanted to show you guys. So that right there is the edge of my house. All this over here is my neighbor's stuff, including the windows that have the brick on the top of them and stuff. So as much as I would like to see that all cleaned up, it's not my responsibility, nor is it mine. So yeah, not a whole lot I can do about that. Say hello to my garage with a really terrible roof on it. I don't have anything to report to you guys as far as electric is concerned this week, mostly because Ameren, the electrical service company here in St. Louis, has not responded. They have to actually hook up new lines to the transformer outside and maybe even replace some components in the transformer. So I'm waiting on them to respond. Until then, there won't be any updates to electrical. I do know because of the hurricane last weekend that Ameren, the St. Louis power company, did send some trucks down to Louisiana to help out with that whole, well, frankly, mess, let's call it. And so, you know, they're a bit busy, and, you know, of course they are, like, you know, they don't, my power doesn't come before somebody's power in Louisiana, especially when there's 1 million people out of power. So if you're down that way, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, awful tragedy. So I hope you guys can repair that quickly. And yeah, once Ameren does have enough time and or a truck available to come handle this situation, it will be done, and we'll move forward. But until then, I'll be running on the same amount of power I have been running on since I started this whole project. So it doesn't really change anything for me, but as soon as that does go through, it changes a whole lot. So that'll be happening at some point, so stay tuned for that. Also, my uncle was here this week and shot some really awesome photos of me working on the house and then the house itself. So I'll be sharing those with you guys. I think they're really amazing. He also came by, helped me run some of the stops for the house. He sanded some windows, even did some shellacking on some of the windows, which is really cool. He picked up how to use shellac and helped me immensely by saving me a few hours of my life, which is always nice. So thank you, Jason, for stopping by. So yeah, that's really cool. I was really happy to have him here this week. So yeah, enjoy the photos. I mean, he's an amazing photographer. So yeah, everything he shoots is basically gold. So enjoy that. So guys, that is the end of the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. I know it wasn't as action-packed as it typically is over here, but you know, ebb and flow, right? And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't take a little bit of time for myself this week. Once you're, you know, up here every day of the week, you know, you want to take a day away here and there, you know, not to burn oneself out. So I did do that this week, and yeah, feel better. I'm pretty happy about it. So. But as always, you know, I love working on this place. It was good to get back at it. And I'm happy to have 2 more windows that I won't have any problems with in the future, or at least for a while. So it is nice to have something that I know is secure and I can trust in this house. And little by little, I'm making things that I can trust. So yeah, exciting stuff. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.